everybody, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I think I'm gonna start off by starting a little series, a YouTube series, kind of explaining more about who I am, where I come from, how I grew up, and the experiences I've had so far since moving to the mainland from Hawaii. If you saw my initial post, then you already know that I am from the Big Island of Hawaii, and I moved to the mainland nearly 2 years ago or 2 years ago. I have to do the math on there. And I moved to Arkansas, of all places. I moved to Northwest Arkansas, and it has been an experience, to say the least. So if you're like me and you're from Hawaii and you're moving to the mainland, or you're in the mainland, or you're considering about moving to the mainland, hopefully you'll find my channel helpful, and hopefully you can find some relatable experiences because the mainland and Hawaii are definitely two very, very different things. Even though they're both a part of the United States, they're still very different culturally. Literally every aspect of Hawaii versus the mainland is completely different. The people are different, the views are different, the way people treat each other are different, family views are different. Literally everything is different. And I'm going to try really hard not to focus so much on the negatives of living in the mainland, because there is some positives, but yeah, it's been a journey so far, trying to figure out. And I think if you haven't moved to the mainland yet, then just prepare yourself for a culture shock, because it was a culture shock to me, and I feel like I'm only now kind of getting out of that shock. And you will miss home like crazy. You know, you're probably thinking, especially if you're younger, oh my gosh, like, I cannot wait to get off the rock, I cannot wait to move to the mainland, I cannot wait to get out of Hawaii. 2 years from now, you're gonna be thinking differently. You're gonna miss the ocean, and you're gonna miss the people, and you're gonna miss everything. Maybe not if you live in Oahu, I'll be honest, but I'm biased because I'm from the Big Island. But yeah, it's a whole different experience out here. Everything is different. So more about me and my background. My dad is Hawaiian, Portuguese, Puerto Rican, you know, the typical mix that you find in Hawaii. And my mom is Haole. She's from Nevada, and they met in California when they were like 16, and they got together, they had me, they moved back to Hawaii, and that's where I was raised, and that's where my siblings were born and raised. And all my family is in Hawaii. All my grandparents, all my aunties, all my uncles, all my cousins, so many cousins. I mean, if you're from Hawaii, you know we have a lot of cousins. So everyone is there. And I moved to the mainland by myself. Like, none of my family came with me, so I was just completely by myself. I met my boyfriend here, and we moved in together shortly after we met. So now it's me and him, and then our sister-in-law also lives with us with her boyfriend. So that's helpful, like familial home. I feel like that's not abnormal to me, so it's pretty nice. Something that encouraged me to move to the mainland is, I mean, you already know, Hawaii is really expensive. It's really, really expensive and impossible, genuinely impossible. I was working 2 jobs, and I there's no way on my own that I could ever make enough to afford a place to rent comfortably, you know, unless it's somewhere in Pahoa, in the sticks, in a shack with no electricity and no water. I don't want to do that personally. I could have done it. I don't want to do that. So that's not something that I did, and the mainland was the next best thing. And I feel like a lot of people in my generation feel the same, and there's a lot of people that even moved to the state, shockingly, that are also from Hawaii, and that's crazy. But anyway, I'm 20.
You're 20?
Yeah.
It's okay. No one has to know, baby girl.
I'm 26 years old, and so yeah, I think a lot of people my generation and under are kind of just moving out. You know, if you can't live with your parents forever, and if you're in that time of your life, and the only thing that you can do is move off of Hawaii. And I hate that that is kind of the only resort that we have left, just because of how expensive and impossible it is. Unless you live with your family and you're okay with living with your family, then that's another story. But I just was not. It wasn't where my peace was. So I did have to move to the mainland to find it. I feel like now, with mine and my boyfriend's jobs, if we moved back to Hawaii, it would be fine financially. But I think it would still be a bit of a struggle at the same time. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting off track. And Arkansas is not the first state in the mainland that I've lived in my adult life. I've lived in Oklahoma because I went there for college. I've lived in California because I was taking care of my grandparents there. So I've lived in multiple states. Arkansas was not my first choice. I will say that Arkansas was not my first choice. Northwest Arkansas, but it's definitely better than, I think, generally in other areas. So that's something if you want to consider moving to this random state. I am the oldest daughter, oldest granddaughter, oldest niece in my generation. So I mean, if you're like me, you know how that is. I'm a Gemini. I have 3 younger siblings, 2 brothers, and a little sister. I am currently working as a gym associate. I can't say what gym legally because I think it's in our contract that we can't be associated like social media wise, but I do work at a gym. Another thing I will say about moving to the mainland is that it is really hard to find a job here. Insanely hard. Back home, I never ever found it difficult to find a job. Any job I applied for, I usually got pretty immediately. So moving here, I found a job quickly. It wasn't a good job, so that's why it was so quick. But when I quit that job because something happened, of course, which you'll find in the mainland, a lot of things happen here that are not normal. I feel like, or as normal back home. It certainly happens. But definitely I wouldn't say as normal as over in the mainland. And every job that I've worked for in the mainland so far, even if it's like a prestigious job, I've had to call the police at one point or another. That is so baffling to me, and definitely one of the negatives in living in the mainland. Maybe it's just the state I live in, maybe it's the area I live in, even though the crime rate is one of the lowest in the area and in like this side of the mainland. It still happens like more often than not. Even like 2 weeks ago at the job that I'm at now, I had to call the cops on 2 different people. So it is just, like I said, a culture shock. Even still, like, there's so many things here that are just like, wow, that would never happen back home. That would, like, or people just wouldn't let it slide back home, if you know what I mean. People wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm gonna call the cops. You know, you take care of it yourself. You know, you don't act like that back home. And if you do, like, someone's gonna tell you off. Here, you tell someone off, that's a whole thing. That's a whole thing that I don't think anyone is ready for. And I think that's something people in the mainland are not used to, is being told off. Even if it's respectful in any way at all. Anyway, before I get too much into the negatives, which I definitely plan on having a whole episode on just how crazy, genuinely crazy living in the mainland has been so far in my experience. Specifically with the people, but I don't want to do it here. not as the first episode, not as my introductory video. My goals for this channel is to kind of just help people and hopefully, give people good advice on how to manage living in the mainland, how tips and tricks that I've learned that have helped me, or just in general, like moving out, like not miss home so much. Good things to institute into your life to help with that, and kind of just be the big sister. I just want to be the big sister or auntie or whatever. Oh my god, auntie! I am at that age. I am auntie age. Okay, which is so crazy to me. Speaking of which, I did just become an auntie, so that's super exciting, like in real life. Like I really did. So I am literally at auntie age. I don't know if you guys can hear the insanely loud bugs outside. I forget what they're called, cicadas. We don't have coqui frogs, we have cicadas. I much rather prefer coqui frogs. I love coqui frogs. I know a lot of people don't like them. I feel like that's kind of the mainland people that moved away that don't like them. Then you see all like the exterminators and stuff like that. But I don't know if cicada exterminators exist, but they need to. They genuinely need to, because they are the most annoying creatures in existence, and they're giant and they're scary looking. They're like alien looking. They look like they should not exist. But I digress. Now that you know about my hate on cicadas, let's talk about something else. I am very much a hobby girly, and my boyfriend is also very much into hobbies. As you can see, I am in the game room at the moment. So we both have like dual desk. We both love to play Minecraft. I love to crochet. I'm just now getting back into it. Am I good at it? No. Do I still love it? Yes. I love to draw. I'm actually working on a short animated series at the moment, so I hope to share that with you soon. I won't even begin to get into that because that's gonna be a huge rant about a whole lot of things. So I won't get into it. I love to cook. I'm actually going to be making a lala later, so maybe I'll make a little short about that. It is very hard to find things here that we normally have everywhere at home, like purple sweet potato is impossible to find, and I don't like normal sweet potatoes. I do not like whatever the orange ones are. They're not yams, but they're just like normal sweet potatoes, I guess. You cannot find, things to make just normal everyday food. And also, I feel like Spam here is way more expensive than in Hawaii for some reason. Maybe it's just this specific state, but it's like $5 a can. And back home, I do not remember it being that much. But even then, it's kind of hard to find that too. Not that it's a staple, obviously, but not that that's like the center of the diet or anything. I will be making lalo later. Lazy girl lalo, I saw it on TikTok. So I'll let you know how it turns out. I'm really excited because I haven't had lalo since I moved. And we're gonna be using spinach instead of like taro leaf and all that, and I also got liquid smoke, so it's gonna go in my crock pot, and hopefully it turns out good. I really hope that it does, so we'll see. But yeah, just in general for the channel, I think just basic day in the lives, sister tips, all that kind of things, just in general about what it's like living in the mainland and how to grow up, really, honestly. Definitely future episodes. I am working on finally decorating our home to more of what I want, to more what I think will make it a home. So you'll definitely see some changes throughout. I'm excited. Hopefully, I want to see what you guys notice throughout, like other future, episodes and everything like that. Not everything is gonna be podcast style, okay? So do not worry. That is not what I normally film. I don't think I've ever filmed like a podcasty. Not that this is like professional by any means at all, but just like a general like, hey girl, I talk to the camera just like this kind of thing. There will be more exciting things, okay? I know this is boring at the moment, but there will be more exciting things coming in the future. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Mahalo nui for watching this very short video, introductory video. I hope you guys stick around. I hope to get to know all of you. I hope to encourage and help and just be the big sister that moved to the mainland and is trying to help you out, So let me know what questions you guys have. Let me know what fears you guys have. Let me know what anything could be personal questions, could be questions, I'm moving to the mainland, how do I do this, what is this gonna be like, I live in the mainland right now, I've only been here for a little bit, how do I do with this, how do I not miss, my family, how do I not miss the ocean, how do I not miss, this and that, which I can, that's the thing, but let me know what questions you have and I will be more than happy to answer them in Q&As and everything like that. So with all that said, welcome to my channel. I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and I will see you in the next one.